Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Om Vishnuvad Paramahansa Parivajanacarya Astottar Shata Shri Srimad Param Pujanya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Iskcon founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj ki Srila Satchitananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji ki Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ वृंदावन के छठ गोस्वामी प्रभु की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयोदीरये शृण्वन्ता स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनम् हृदयन्तस्तभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सदा नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we will be serving Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam in chronological order from the Srila Prabhupada Gurudev Ji Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava. In chronological order, we will be serving from 11th canto, chapter number 2, and verse number 1. So kindly repeat. Shri Sukha Vacha Govinda Bhuja Bhuktaya Dvaravadayam Kurodvaha Avatasinarado Bhiksharam Krishna Upasna Lalasaha Shri Sukha Vacha Govinda Bhuja Bhuktaya Dvaravadayam Kurodvaha Avatsinarabhikshana Krishna Upasna Lalasaha. Hare Krishna, Bhakto में से Shri Sudavacha Govinda Upana Dvarasvatam Kurudva Alasadaradho Vikshanam Krishna Vasanadasa Sri Sukavacha Govinda Bhujavittaya Satchitananda Dasa Krishna Upasnalasa. Mataji, Krishna Vacha Kindly repeat the word-to-word translation, the translation also. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sri Sukha said, Govinda of Lord Govind, Bhuja by the arms, Guptayam protected, Dwaravatiyam in the capital, Dwaravati, Kuru Udvaha, the best of the Kurus, Avatsit dwelled, Narada, Narad Muni, Abhikshnu, constantly, Krishna Upasna, to engage in the worship of Krishna, Lal Saha, who had great eagerness. Translation, kindly repeat after me. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, eager to engage in the worship of Lord Krishna, O best of the Gurus, Narad Muni stayed for some time in Dwarka, which was always protected by the arms of Govind. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. In the second chapter of this canto, Bhagavad Dharma, or pure devotional service to Krishna, is explained by Narad Muni to Vasudeva, who had inquired with devotion. Narad Muni cites a conversation between King Nimi and the Jayantayas. According to Jiva Goswami, the word Abhikshan indicates that although Narad Muni was frequently sent by Lord Krishna here and there for various pastimes, such as inquiring about the affairs of the world, Narada continuously returned to reside in Dwarka. The word Krishna Upasna Lal Saha indicates that Narad was very eager to be near Krishna and worship him. Because of the curse of Daksha, Narada is never allowed to live continuously in one place. Sridhar Swami, however, has pointed out, Na tasyam shapadeha prabhavaha. In Dwarka, there is no influence of curses or other such evils because Dwarka is the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is always protected by His arms. As shown by the word Govinda Bhuja Guptaya, the conditioned souls are struggling with the kingdom of Maya against the cruel laws of material nature, such as birth, death, old age, and disease. But if such conditional souls have the good fortune to enter the city of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether Dwarka, Mathura, or Vrindavan, and live there under the direct protection of the omnipotent arms of the Supreme Lord Krishna, they will experience the unlimited transcendental bliss of life, which is eternal and which is meant to be lived in the personal company of God. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Dhyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manoya Vishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvaragunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sarvalalita Shri Vishakha Vedamscha Aradhyo Bhagwan Vrajesh Tanayas Tadham Vrindavanam Ramya Kache Dupasana Vrajavadvarge Nataya Kalpita Shrimada Bhagavata Purana Amalam Prema Kumar Toman Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mataya Nayatraya Paraha Navaneeradhanindita Kantidharam Rasasagar Nagar Bhupavara Shubhavankimacharu Sikhanda Sikhim Bhaja Krishna Nidhim Vrajaraja Sutam Bhaja Krishna Nidhim Vrajaraja Sutam Radhika Sarojendu Nindimukha Mandali Vandiye Shripada Padma Vrishabhanu Nandini Vandiye Shripada Padma Vrishabhanu Nandini Loka Viramam Ranaranadhiram Grajivanetram Raghuvanshanatha Karunyarupam Karunakarantam Sri Ramachandram Varanam Prapate Janakasutavara Jagajanani Janaki Atishaya Priya Karuna Nidhanaki Mangala Bhavana Amangalahari Dravo Sudasharata Ajara Vihari Ajanulambito Bhujo Kanakaya Vidhato Sankirtanai Pitaravo Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karuna Avatar Patita Pavana Nitai Gaur Sundar Ki Lalita Vishaka Shri Shri Radha Rasbihari Ki Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman Ji Ki Jai. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya Acharya Guruvar Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So it is my great fortune that I am able to say or share some Krishna consciousness matter from Shrimada Bhagavatam amongst all you esteemed devotees of Iskcon Juhu. A lot of senior Vaishnavas are present. I offer my obeisances to them and unto all the Brahmachari, Gana, and all the assembled Vaishnavas in presence and also online. So I seek your blessings that whatever I speak will be pleasing to our Srila Prabhupada, to the audience, and also as it is, so that it pleases the entire Gaudiya Guru world. Hare Krishna. So, we are serving today Grantha Shrimada Bhagavatam from 11th Canto, chapter number 2, verse number 1, which is entitled Maharaj Nimi meets the 9 of the Nava Yogendras. It's a very, very nice chapter, and this is the very first verse. But a little bit information about what this chapter is all about before we actually enter the actual verse. So, Naradji gives instructions on Bhagavad Dharma. What is Bhagavad Dharma? Bhagavad Dharma, even Prahlad Maharaj mentions, Kaumaram Acharat Pragya Dharman Bhagavateha, Dharman Bhagavateha, Durlabham Manushya Deha, Tadapi Arthadam Adrubam. So Prahlad Maharaj says this Bhagavad Dharma should be taken up from the age of Kaumar. Kaumar means from the age of 4 or 5 years. One should take to this Bhagavad Dharma. Very important. Or if we want our Sanatana Dharma to continue nicely, then everybody has to wake up. Today we find that people are complaining that Sanatana Dharma is slowly going into oblivion and the other dharmas are taking over. They're increasing in quantity. But the fault is on us because we don't do any preaching except Iskcon is the only institution in this entire world that actually does this wonderful job of preaching. And in this Iskcon, this opportunity is given to everyone without caste, creed, background. Please come and listen to Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, that every day some speaker is speaking. It is not the credit of the speaker who is speaking. It is his divine grace. It is his books. We cannot take credit for any kind of erudite lecturing if we did not have Prabhupada and his books, then we are nothing. Janmana jayate shudra sanskarat bhavati dvija. We are all born as ignorant, or that is in Sanskrit known as shudras. But through sanskar, we become dvija. Dvija means twice born. We are reborn. Spiritual birth we take. So we awaken ourselves, all of us, and understand the Vedic subject matters, which is real science, Vigyan. What is Vigyan? Vishesha Gyan iti Vigyan. What is Vishesh Gyan? That is what Bhagavad Gita is giving us. I am not this body, I am a spirit soul, I am an eternal servant of Krishna. Jiver Swarupai, Krishna Nitya Das. That is our real identity, that is spiritual science, and that is the fundamentals. That is spiritual, that is Vigyan. Not what we study in school, colleges, where physics, chemistry, biology. That is the secondary meaning of Vigyan. Vigyan means Vishesh Gyan, topmost knowledge, which unfortunately the modern school, colleges and universities are not talking about. And that is why Iskcon is giving this opportunity to everyone. Please come. Every day, regardless of which center it is, at about 8 a.m. there is Shrimada Bhagavatam class. Evening, in most centers, there is Bhagavad Gita class. Take full advantage and pass it on. Kaumaram to your children, to your grandchildren. Otherwise, history repeats. Just like several hundred years ago, the Mughals came, invaded India, and most of the people who have converted to Islam, they don't know they were all Sanatana Dharmis. Then the English came and they broke the backbone of the Indian culture based on dharma by dividing us. So they knew that they could not succeed in India unless and until they did something, and it is so true. This servant studied in Mumbai in one of the topmost convent schools. And our English papers used to go to Oxford. They came from Oxford. At that time, there was no ICSE, it was ISC. And at that time, we had all these historians who wrote books about India. Pharaoh, English historian, they changed everything. They called Ramayana, Mahabharata, mythology, myth. Myth in Latin means imaginary. So they call that imaginary. I still remember that's how they taught us. And even today, the historians who follow in their footsteps of the English, what do they know about our culture? What do they know? They all know about our Vedic culture. So it is extremely important that we take this Komara Acharat Pragya Dharman Bhagavatiya. This Bhagavad Dharma should be taken right from that age so that we are trained. And Srila Prabhupada said the success of human life is that at the time of death, if we are able to remember Krishna. So we should all practice, even those who are already practicing, just think about this. That when we sleep at night, do we dream every day about Krishna or Krishna's pastimes? Based on our past karma, based on our past lives, many things come in our dreams. And at that time, if we happen to leave our body, what will happen? What is our gati? Yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam tajeti ante kalevaram. So this is a big red flag even for practicing Vaishnava. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This practice has to come from that age, but whenever we join, make this very serious. Then, even if we, by some chance, we are diseased or we have a problem, then Krishna is so kind that he will take over at that time because we deserve that. Tatya anubhamkam susikshamana bhunjana eva atmakrita vikam. Those who are with their bodies, mind and souls, they dedicate their lives to Krishna. Then in that verse, it is said in the end, Sadayabha. Certainly they will get the mercy of Krishna, just like children, they receive, Prabhupada writes in their purport, they receive the inheritance from their parents and it is their rightful claim. It is their rightful claim to receive the assets of the parents. It is passed on to them. Similarly, it is the rightful claim of the devotee who has practiced Krishna consciousness very nicely, although we may not be perfectly situated, which in Mukundmala Stotra, King Kulasekar says that now I am very healthy. Please let me always think of you, your lotus feet, and let me entangle my mind just like a swan entangles in a lotus. So similarly, because at the time when I get old, kapha pitta vayu, I will be engrossed with so many different bodily disease that it will be difficult to think of you. So this is a very serious subject matter that His Divine Grace always wanted to give us. Krishna can't give to all. And therefore I say that, Iskcon is the amazing institution in this entire world that is preaching this. And if we are not serious, what kind of a legacy we will leave behind for our children? 20 years, 30 years down the road, things will become very different. Again, if a particular dharma starts increasing of faith, then we will be forced to be converted into that. And this is already happening now. Because we don't understand this is real Vigyan, real science, what we have. And if we don't take to it, and we think it is some sentimental hodgepodge khichdi, then it is our misfortune. But this is the most sublime science. So Naradji gives instructions to Nimi Maharaj on Bhagavad Dharma. Dharman Bhagavati. Why? Durlabham Manushade. Because this human form of life is extremely, extremely rare. Not guaranteed next life is human. If we have taken to some bhakti, neha vikramana svasti pratyuvayana vidyate swalpamupyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhaya. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So then, somehow or the other we will be saved and we will get a human form of life. But then what is the guarantee? If we don't do satsang and if we do kusang, then again we will slide down to the hellish planets. And then there is no guarantee that we will get a human form after going through the transmigration process of 8,400,000 species of life, 84 lakh yoni, then we will get the human form of life. This is a very subject that those who are serious will take it seriously. So in this conversation, King Nimi, and there's a conversation also that Naradji is mentioning between King Nimi and the Navayogendras. Who are the Navayogendras? They were son of Rishabdev. Rishabdev is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And actually, he comes in the line of Swayambhu Manu, son was Priyavrata, Priyavrata's son was Agnidra, Agnidra's son was Nabhi, Nabhi's son was Rishabdev, and Rishabdev had 100 sons, and one of the most prominent is Bharat, from whose name the India was known as Bharat. Previously, it used to be called Ajanabha Varsha. This earthly planet, Prabhupada mentions, was called Ajanabha Varsha. Ajanabha Varsha. But from the sun, the most wonderful transcendental son of Rishabdev, it was known as Bharata. It is due to King Bharat, the son of Rishabdev. And Rishabdev's, out of the 109 sons, they were known as the Navayogendras. And the names of them are as Kavi, Havir, Antariksha, Prabuddha, Piplyana, Avirortra, Drumil, Chamsa, and Karbhajan. So they were the 9 sons of the Navayogendras. And then Rishabdev, the other 9 sons became Kshatriyas, and 81 sons became Brahmanas. So he gives some wonderful instructions to all his 100 sons. One famous instruction is Nayo Deham Deho Bhajat, that this body is not meant for sense gratification. If we are taking Vishta, sense gratification is like Vishta, stool. So like that he gives instructions to them. King Nimi inquired about Bhagavad Dharma from them. And pure devotional service to the Lord is the only means of ultimate good fortune for the soul. What does Shrimada Bhagavatam say in the 2nd chapter of the 1st canto? Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje. And what kind of bhakti should be? Ahaituki apratiyata jena atma suprasiddhati. It has to be ahaituki, not without any material motivation. Material motivation means when we sing songs in most of the Hindu temples, Om Jai Jagadish Hare, Ghar Dhana Aave, Sukh Sampati Aave, America Jave, Dollar Kamave, Rupya Dhan Kamave, Jai Jagadish Hare. No, that is what not Bhagavad Dharma. Unfortunately, people don't think. At the end, it says, Kahe Shivananda Swami. Some Mayavadi has composed this, and it is sung everywhere in the Hindu temples without understanding that this is not Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti is what Naradji has said in the Narad Bhakti Sutra, which Srila Rupa Goswami took into Bhakti Rasam Sindhu. What is that? Anya Vilasita Shunya, 0. Jnana Karma Anavritam. Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam Tat Bhakti Ruttam. One should not even aspire for Jnana, for Karma. We take that to a certain extent, and then once we enter into Bhakti, we leave that behind. We don't want to become Jnanis or Karmis. Although in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking about that. But Arjun finally fought on the basis of Bhakti, because it was the desire. Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam. Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam means whatever Krishna wants, we should do. Now for us, we may ask, what does Krishna want from us? Very clearly, Prabhupada has given everything in Shrimad Bhagavatam, in his Bhaktivedanta purports, in his Bhagavad Gita, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, instruction, and the Varishta Vaishnavas give us those instructions. Arjuna was lucky that directly he heard from Krishna. But Krishna, out of his mercy, Kripalila, left Bhagavad Gita for us. Shrimad Bhagavatam is none other than Sri Krishna. It has been converted, parivartate. So we are very fortunate like that. So we should take to this process. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaja ahaituki apratiyata. And it should be without material motivation and uninterrupted. Not that we have problems in our life, then we start coming to Radha Ras Vihari more and more. And when the problems disappear, okay, Prabhu, we'll see you on Janmashtami. No, Prabhu, please come. Devotees are always calling, encouraging. Prabhu ji, aaj kya hai na, overtime hai, business mein, aaj wahan jana hai, udhar jana hai. We have to take child to the football practice. We have to take child to karate. Always we have to go to this party, that party, but they will not come to temple because problem is solved. Temporary problem has been resolved. काम हो गया, अभी कृष्ण आपकी जरूरत नहीं है. That should be apratiyata. Apratiyata means uninterrupted. चाहे सुख में दुख में. What does Bhaktivinoda Thakur say in that bhajan? Gaye Gora Madhurasware. He says that Sukhe Dukhe Bhulo Nako Vadane Hari Naam Korore Gaye Gora Madhurasware. So like this we find that the Supreme Lord being so pleased when we take to Bhagavad Dharma, by such service, he offers his own self to the devotee. Srila Prabhupada writes that he offers his own self to the devotee. In which kind of bhakti? Here basically we are talking about that bhakti of Krishna. Only Krishna has that capability to offer himself to the devotee. He reciprocates. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sattadeva bhajami. No other personality can really do as much as Krishna can do in terms of reciprocation. So, like for example, Arjun, Yudhishthir, Sudama, he served them. The gopis of Vrindavan, he served them. There is a nice bhajan by Surdas. What does he say? Surdas says in that bhajan, Sabse Unchi Prema Sagai. The highest relationship is Krishna Prem. And in that bhajan he says, Rajasuya Yagya Yudhishthir Kino Tame Jhuta Uthai. Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he conducted the Rajasuya Yagya, lakhs of people came, ministers, small kings, big kings, because he was a Chakravarti Raja. So under him there were many kings and there were many ministers and many subjects. They used to come and they took the Raja, and Krishna personally took their dirty juta plates. Rajasuya Yagya Yudhishthir Kino Tama Juta Uthai. Prem ke bas Paratha Rata Hakyo. Out of love, he became a menial servant of Arjun and he became the driver, the sarthi of his rath. Prem ke bas Parat Rata Hakyo. Bhul gaye Thakurai. He forgot that he is the Supreme Personality of God. Surdas has written this very wonderfully. It kind of, is related to this particular subject matter about Bhagavad Dharma. ऐसी प्रीति बड़ी वृंदावन गोपियां न नाच नचाई. Gopi na nacha nachai. Krishna, dance for us and we will give you some chas. We will give you buttermilk. Krishna, you dance for us and we will give you some makhan. So, especially, we find that in Vaikuntha and even Dwarka and Mathura, in the spiritual planets, Krishna is known as Bhakta Vatsal. But in Vrindavan, in particular, he is known as Bhakta Vashya, one who is completely controlled by his devotees. That is Bhagavad Dharma. This is the reward of Bhagavad Dharma. Nanda Baba says, Beta, I am very tired. Kana, can you get my shoes? He will quickly go. Small, 2.5-year-old boy, Krishna, takes the big padukas of Nanda Maharaj, carries it on his head, and he brings it to Nanda Maharaj. So that is what it is. Aisi Priti Badi Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the highest place and that is what Mahaprabhu wants. That is what our Gaudiya Vaishnavas are teaching us. Vrindavan. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tat Dham Vrindavan. Out of so many dhams, but for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we worship Vrajendra Nandan, the son of Nanda Maharaj. That is our ultimate goal. And the goal is in Vrindavan, like Prabhupada mentions further in this purport. Here it is said that Sukdev Goswami said, Govinda Bhuja, these dhams are always protected by Guptayam. The word Guptayam is used. Guptayam means to protect. The dham is always protected. So similarly, Dwarka was protected by Sri Krishna. And Avatsita Naradaha Abhikshanam. Very important words Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that Naradji went there. According to Jiva Goswami, he has quoted Jiva Goswami that the word Abhikshanam, it means that it indicates that Naradji was frequently sent here and there. Idhar udhar bhago, do preaching. Naradji. He is sent by Krishna himself, by Narayan. Go here, go there, preach. Frequently sent by the Lord here and there for various pastimes. He's been sent. That is what pure devotees do. What do the gopis say? In the Gopi Gita in the 9th verse, Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viridikam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Shrimadatam bhuvi grinanti je bhurida jana. Bhuvi grinanti je bhurida jana. Bhuvi grinanti je bhurida jana. They go here and there simply preaching. That's what our divine is. This actually verse my Guru Maharaj mentioned one time when he was giving the explanation that the gopis, the last time they sang Gopi Geet was about 5,000 years ago. And in Gopi, because this is a repetition, it is not that Bhagavatam was just as a side note, was just compiled 5,000 years ago. No, it is eternal. But Vyasdev manifested it in the heart of Naradji. Again, just like Yogam Dasta Param Tapa. I'm speaking this Bhagavad Gita to you again. I had already spoken it millions of years ago to Vivaswan, to the sun god. But because you are my dear friend, you are my devotee, I'm speaking this to you again. In Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Krishna mentions that. I'm speaking this to you. Similarly, out of compassion, Naradji speaks this entire, transfers the Bhagavatam from his heart to Vyasdev. That's why he was completely satisfied, Vyasdev. So, they go around, like Srila Prabhupada goes around. Otherwise, why will he leave the comfort of Vrindavan? Most of us, we think that we should go and build a kutia there, a hut in Vrindavan and spend the rest of our life. That is Bhajananandi. But there is something that is higher than Bhajananandi, which is known as Goshti Anandi. Srila Prabhupada is not only, unless and until one becomes a Bhajananandi, then he can become Goshti Anandi. But Prabhupada did not stop at Bhajananandi. Prahlad Maharaj says that there are so many devotees who go and sit in the different caves of the Himalayas, in the forest, and do tapasya. And when they leave their bodies, they are perfect. They are situated nicely and they go home back to Godhead. But there are devotees who go from the different places all over the world. Bhuri Giranti je Bhuri Dajana. They go and they are Goshti Anandis. Goshti Anandis' position is higher than Bhajan Anandis because they don't care about themselves. They care about the others. And that is what the perfect example is of Srila Prabhupada. Nothing he had. He begged for a ticket, sat on the whole month here in Mumbai on the steps of India Shipping Corporation. And when Mrs. Sumati Maraji, Jai Shri Lalita Vishaka Radha Rasmehari Sita Ram Lakshman Hanumanji Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Patita Pavan Nitai Gaur Sundar ki Jai. He begged, please. When Mrs. Sumati Maraji finally saw him, yes, Swamiji, what can I do for you? My Guru Maharaj instructed me that I should go to instruct in English Bhagavad Dharma. We are talking about Bhagavad Dharma. This is the same thing. Prabhupada told her that. So please give me. I don't have any cruise lines. These are all cargo ships. It's not very comfortable. Swamiji, with your age, advanced age, I cannot take that risk. Sorry. And Prabhupada pleaded, please, you are a Vaishnavi. She was in the Pushti Marg, follower of Vallabh Sampradaya. So he begged, please, you understand the Agya of the Guru, the order of the Guru. And finally she agreed and then gave him a small place in the entire cargo ship on Jaldur, where she even managed to give him fruits and vegetables for the 40-day or 45-day journey to the United States. That is compassion. And that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when King Prataprudra sang Gopi Geet, Mahaprabhu was not ready to see King Prataprudra because he was the perfect example of a sannyasi. Sannyasis and brahmacharis should be extremely careful here. Bhalona peribe, bhalona khaibe, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has perfectly instructed and he followed. He followed those instructions. So he said, no, I don't want to see any king. And although he knew, because he is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is a pure devotee, King Prataprudra. But to set an example to the society that I am a sannyasi, I should not go to Vishayi people. A king is considered one who is always engrossed in sense gratification. So I will not see him. And King Prataprudra wanted to give up his body. He said, Mahaprabhu is keeping me bereft. मुझे वंचित कर दिया दर्शन से उनके. क्या काम है मेरे इस जीवन का? What is the use of my body? So then, at that time, the associates of Mahaprabhu, they said, be patient. And they tried to convince Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu said, no. If you keep talking about this, seeing King, I will leave Jagannath Puri and go away. So everybody was silent. So finally, on Rath Yatra time, they advised King Pratap, you wear normal menial clothes, and Mahaprabhu will be resting in Balgandi. There's a place in Jagannath Puri, there's a garden. Halfway through the Rath Yatra, Mahaprabhu stops and he takes a little rest. Because Mahaprabhu is Gaura Nataraj. He would dance so much. So little rest. First time he was and he says, when he rests, you go and massage his lotus feet and sing Gopi Geet. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard this verse, Tava Katha Amritam, Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhuridachan, the last line, at that time, immediately Mahaprabhu got up and he gave him a nice alingan, a nice hug, and tears were flowing from Mahaprabhu's eyes and also from King Prataprutra. Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhuri, and Mahaprabhu repeated this, Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhuridajan. Bhuvi means the entire world. Grinanti means to go around. And Bhurida, very important word. Just like the word Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate. Most magnanimous. Bhurida means also the same. Bhurida means extreme and Da means Dan. So one who gives the extreme charity is indeed the highest benefactor of mankind. He is the highest benefit, who gives the most benefit. That is the kind of Dan. So similarly, Naradji goes there. That is the glories of Naradji. Naradji is not ordinary. Some of the filmmakers in our childhood we saw, they used to make fun of him. That character Jeevan used to play Naradji. And he was shown as such a dubious character, Naradji. But no, they don't know. Naradji is the great guru of who? Vyasdev. He is the guru of Dhruv Maharaj. He is the guru of Prahlad Maharaj. He is the guru of Valmiki. Like that, he is such a great, and he is the second Acharya in our Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Sampradaya, Naradji. Krishna first initiated Lord Brahma. And then Brahmaji initiated Naradji, Naradji initiated Vyasdev, and like that, in 32nd in that line is His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So Naradji is not an ordinary personality. We should be very fortunate someday if we can have his darshan. He can suddenly appear. He is unrestricted. Even he can enter into the inner chambers of Krishna without permission. Nobody stops him and he is most welcome. That is his position. And he is also welcomed by all the asuras because he is non-envious. Similarly, our 6 Goswamis. Srinivas Acharya wrote the Sada Goswami Astakam and he says that Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Karo Nirmat Saro Pujito Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalago. Dhira means good people. Those who are suras, like devtas. Adhir means rascals. Adhir means demons. Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Karo. Both are favorable to Naradji and to the 6 Goswamis as an example. Why? Because they have the highest quality. Nirmatsara Pujito. They are completely non-envious. Nirmatsara. We all have little envy in us unless and until we are 100% purified. Some of us have envy like a little mustard seed. Rai ke dana se hamare mein andar dvesh hai, jealousy hai. Aur kisi mein football ke jaisa hai, dvesh. And envy. It is that. The moment that envy feature goes around, Nirmatsara Pujito. What is that verse in Shrimada Bhagavatam? First canto, first chapter, second verse. Dharma Projita Kaita Vatra Parmo Nirmasaranam Satam. Nirmasaranam Satam. So those who are Nirmasaram, they can really relish Shrimad Bhagavatam. That is the quality. Of course, Shrimad Bhagavatam is meant for everyone, for that purification, so that it will come. We can come to that platform. So Naradji is such an amazing, and the word Krishna Upasana Lalsaha indicates that he was very eager. This is a very important thing, very eager to stay near Krishna. When Krishna decided finally to wind up his pastimes, the last destination before Prabhat Kshetra was Dwarka. So he was so eager that he wanted to worship. But there was a curse. Daksha had cursed Naradji that you will never be allowed to live continuously in one place. So Siddhar Swami has commented, Srila Prabhupada was so fond of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Siddhar Swami. This is a very good example that we should never speculate. Many places Srila Prabhupada has said, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says this, Srila Siddhar Swami says this. So this is very important. Yatharup, whatever we do, it should no speculation. That is why we should quote Srila Prabhupada, we should quote our acharyas, especially when we are given this benefit of preaching to others. No manoratha, no imaginary world, no. When Srila Prabhupada came to India, one time he met at the Prime Minister at that time, Mrs. Indira Gandhi. And Mrs. Indira Gandhi, praised Srila Prabhupada that you have done wonderful, Swamiji. You have spread the name of Krishna, Bhagavad Gita all over the world. And you know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, I have simply repeated, the only credit is repeated the words of our Guru Maharaj. That is our only credit. Otherwise, we have no credit. And that's the first thing I said when we started the class, that we have no credit, even one who sits here. No, the credit goes to His Divine Grace and the Varishta Vaishnavas from whom we hear and we repeat as it is. So Krishna Upasana Lalsaha, he was very eager. And then Sridhar Swami says that na tasyam shapadehe prabhava. Shrap, the curses, they do not work in the dham. Why? Sridhar Swami has wonderfully said this. It is not because it is always protected by Krishna's arms. In this verse, Govinda Bhuja Guptayam, Krishna always protects the dham. Krishna always protects his devotees. So the conditioned souls Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport are always struggling within this kingdom of Maya. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukha dosha anudarshana. That is the quality that one should see the fault in it. Supposing if I'm going to sit on a chair and if just about to sit, somebody says, Prabhu, don't sit. The leg is shaky or it's broken. So that dukkha dosha anudarshanam, in this example, that person has seen anudarshanam, that there is a fault in the chair. Please take another chair. So therefore, Krishna himself is saying that we have to say dukkha dosha anudarshanam. It's a dosh. It's a problem. Janma mrityu jara and vyadhi. Janam means birth. Mrityu means death. And in between birth and death, there is diseases and there is old age. Nobody can escape this. Not in this Brahman, in the 14 planets, not even in the heavenly planets. There are 6 heavenly planets, 7 hellish planets, and in between there is earth, which is known as Chauda Bhavan. So we cannot escape that. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshana. But if such conditioned souls have the good fortune, Prabhupada says, to enter the dham, to stay in the dham, and Prabhupada gives, then they are under the protection, like Dwarka, Mathura, Vrindavan, then they are under the protection of Krishna. Then no curses, no karma will really work if one is very sincere. What is that verse in the Brahma Samhita? Ya chakshuresha savita sakata griyanam raja samasta sura murtir asesha tejaha yasya brahmita sambrita kala chakro. So there might be so many planets that are affecting due to our past karma. कोई कहता है मुझे मंगल की दशा है, कोई कहता है शनि की दशा है. Some say that I have this problem because Mangal, Rahu, Ketu, all these planets are creating problems. But what does Krishna say? Yasya, what does Brahmaji say? Yasya agya. They work according to your order. Brahmati sambrita kala chakra. And then they rotate. So Krishna can kick out all those bad planets in the life of the devotee. But if we are sincere, Sharanga Sharanagati hoibe jar tar pratna sunes Rajendra Kumar. Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sharanagati says that once we are fully surrendered with the 6 limbs, Dainya, Atma Nivedan, Goptrite Varan, Avasya Rakshive Krishna, Vishwas Palan, Bhakti Anukul Karya Kare Jo Svikar, Bhakti Pratikul Bhav Varjana Gita. 6 limbs. Humility, full surrender, self-surrender. Dainya Atma Nivedan, Goptrite Varan, Krishna is my provider. Not my money, roti, kapda, makan. Even the richest person should not be so puffed up that, when I came to Mumbai or when I came to New York, I only had $50 in my pocket. And now I have such a big business I have built. People say that all the time. But it is the mercy of Krishna. But a devotee, even if he has millions of dollars or rupees, crores of rupees, will say this is mercy of Krishna. That is called Gopta. Tumi to Gopta Jagannath. Gopti, Avashya Rakshave Krishna Vishwas Pami. I have full faith that Krishna will certainly protect me, like Prahlad Maharaj. Full faith. Bhakti Anukul Karya Kare Jasvika. This is from Hari Bhakti Vilas that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has taken into Sharanagati's introductory song. Whatever is good for bhakti, we should accept. And sixth one, Bhakti Pratikul Bhava Varjanangila. We should reject everything that is not good for our bhakti. So when we have this Sharanga Sharanagati with all the 6 branches of Sharanagati, Tar Pratna Sune Vrajendra Kumar. He must listen at that time. Sometimes we think, no, devotees are praying for certain things. Why Krishna is not fulfilling my desire? But then we have to ask a counter question. Am I Sharanga Sharanagati? So the process of Sharanagati means that we have to full surrender. And the meaning of Sharanagati, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has nicely said, everybody takes Sharan of the Lord, whether they are Hindus, Sanatan Dharmis, following Islam, following the Jewish Dharma, or Christianity, or whatever the Dharma is, they take some shelter. But Sharanagati, by definition of Gaudiya Vaishnava, it is Sandhi Viched. You separate those words. Sharan plus Agati. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sharan means full shelter. But not only that, Agati. Agati does not mean that if we take shelter of Krishna, we will fall down. No. Here the word Agati means, Gati means movement, and Agati means no movement. Which is the bhava of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ashlishapadartam vinashlimam adarshanam marmahatam karotva yatha tathava vidato lampato mat prananatha sevanapara. Whether you kick me or embrace me, you are my Lord, birth after birth after birth. Mat prananatha. So that is Sharanagati. That I will catch your lotus feet, Krishna, like the Himalaya mountain. Can you push that mountain? That is Agati. No movement. Whether you kick me or embrace me, whether you keep me in good times or bad times, I will never leave your lotus feet. I will stay at your lotus feet like a big rock, like a big mountain. I am not moving. I am not going anywhere. That is the highest definition of Sharanagati, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, and that is what we are. So we have to, Narottam Das Thakur also says, talking about living in the Dham, he has in his Prarthana Bhajan also says, Gauranga bolite have ulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite nayane bahe nira Vishaya chadiya kabe shuddha have mon kabe ami heribo Shri Vrindavana. So when will the day come when I will give up all this nonsense, sense gratification, and I will be able to go and really see Vrindavan? Right now we go to Vrindavan, what do we see? We see Kuda, Kachra, we see the nice Alu Tikki and Lassi in Baki Bihari Gali. All these things we see. That is all. But no, that is not real Vrindavan. Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu, even today, Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu, Kalpavriksha, Lakshat Prasya, Survi Ravirpani. All these pastimes are visible to those devotees who are fully surrendered. They can see that. Dham is covered. So we have to purify ourselves. Dharmasya tatta nihitam guyam mahajana jena kathasapanta. We have to follow in the footsteps of those Vaishnavas. And they will experience this. Satchitananda Prabhupada has said that they will experience complete bliss, meant to be lived in the personal company of God. Very important sentence. Personal company. So basically our dharma of Vaishnavism is personalism. Even in this verse, how does it start? Sri Sukha Uvacha. So Sukadeva Goswami said, in Bhagavad Gita so many times it says Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So the Mayavadis, they also speak on Bhagavad Gita. They are speculating that Bhagavan is, I am that Bhagavan, I am that Atma who is saying these instructions. When I get into that highest bliss of Satchitananda Rupam Shivoham, I am Bhagavan. Main hi wo hu, so hum. So they imagine like that and they think that, they give different interpretations of Bhagavad Gita. Like this. So no. But Srila Prabhupada was a personal. What is so difficult to understand when Bhagavan Uvacha means the Supreme Personality of Lord is speaking. So here it is meant to be lived in the personal company. That means entering Vrindavan Dham. And when we attain our highest perfection, entering Golok Vrindavan. Personal company of the Lord. Very important. I like this line the most in Srila Prabhupada's purport. Personal company of the Lord. Personalism. Not some imaginary light, Prakash, oh, and you're imagining. Please imagine nicely, now you're entering into Brahman. Sarvamidam Khalo Brahman. They try to give this interpretation that we are all Brahman. You don't know your God. Arey Baba, you are also God. You are God. You are God. You all are God. It's a matter of time. We are all one. Then if we are one, then who will serve each other? Nobody. A Mayavadi is Kamchur. They don't want to serve. That is why they have this concept. But if we are Das Anudas Anudas, then we will do some service. Yes, Prabhu, you are thirsty. Can I get you some water? Can I get you some prasadam? And out of that reciprocation, both get some bliss. So we are Dasa. If the Mayavadi says, you don't know, you're all God, that sounds very nice. Thousands of people are listening. Arey Baba, hum sab Bhagwan hai. But a Vaishnava is saying, no, Jivar Swarupa Krishna, Nitya Das. Eternally you are servant. Here in this material world, and even when you go there into Vaikuntha or the other spiritual planets, you will always remain Das. Now that doesn't sound very nice. It is better to take to the Mayavadi philosophy because I want to become God. Mahaprabhu says, Mayavadi Bhasya Sunila Hoy Sarvanas. So like this, our goal is to serve Krishna. Sri Akanta Hakanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Dhruma Bhumis Chintamani. Like that is goal of Sri Akanta Hakanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Dhruma Bhumis Chintamani Ganamai Toyam Amruta Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanapicha Vamshi Priya Sakhi Chidananda Jyoti Paramapi Tada Swadhyamapi Cha Sayatra Shirabdi Surabhibhyascha Sumahan Nimeshardhakyo Va Prajati Nayatrapi Samaya Bhaje Shweta Deepam Tamaham Iha Golokam Itiyam Vidantaste Santah Shiti Virala Charaha Katipaye. Personal company of God. What does God do? Here is Krishna playing the flute, attending to so many Surbi cows. So many Lakshmis or Gopis are serving him. That is, when he walks, when the residents of Golok walk, it looks like they are dancing. And when they are speaking, it is like a song. When time comes to standstill, that is Golok. I like this so much that I have called this our national anthem, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. What is the national anthem? That is the glories of the country, of our land. So this is our land, Golok Vrindavan, where nicely Brahma Samhita 56th verse has described what that land is like. We describe India's Janagana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya Jaya Bharat Bhagya Vidata, etc. So when we sing that national anthem, we are singing the glories of that land or India in Janagana Mana. This song is the glories of Golok Vrindavan. That is for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Vidantaste Santa Siddhi Virala Charaka Katipaye. Not even for a moment. Bhaje Shweta Diva. Shweta Div means Golok Vrindavan. Shweta Divam Tamahamiha. Golokamitiyam. Vidantaste Santa Siddhi Virala Charaka. So the true devotees, they worship that like this. So thank you so much for patiently listening to this particular 11th canto, second chapter, first verse, which is kind of the introduction of Bhagavad Dharma and how Naradji is so attracted that he comes back. Wherever he goes, he comes back with Dharka because he knows Krishna is there and his association. And going to Vrindavan. This is the most important thing. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajeshatan is Tat Dham Vrindavan. There are many types of supreme personalities of Godhead. But we are concerned, Prabhupada said, with Vrajeshatanas. Vrajesh means Vraj Ishwar Iti Vrajesh. Who is that Vrajesh? Vrajesh is Nanda Maharaj. Tanaya means the son of Nanda Maharaj. And out of so many dhams, this is in Chaitanya Manjusha. This particular, that Prabhupada used to recite this, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas, Tad Dham Vrindavan. And among so many dhams, for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas is Vrindavan. Ramya Kachid Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena. And we have to follow in the footsteps of the Vrajavadus. Vrajavadu means the gopis of Vrindavan, serving in Vrindavan. And especially Madhurya Rasa. That is our goal. That is our prayojan. And out of so many books, Shastras, what is that? Shrimad Bhagavata Purana Malam Prema Pumartha Mahan. Shrimad Bhagavatam will give us Prem, Krishna Prem, Pumartha Mahan, the highest destination, which is Vrindavan, Pumartha Mahan. And it is not my opinion. He is saying, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matahidam Na Yatra Agrapara. It is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is no need for any other speculation, no need for any other subject matters. That's it. This is it. So we have to stay focused. So we are so fortunate that His Divine Grace has given us this opportunity. And I thank so much His Grace, Brajhari Prabhu, Hemgiri Prabhu, and the management of Iskcon Juhu to give me this opportunity to say a few words, and to all the devotees who have been patiently listening. So if there is any mistakes, please forgive me. So any questions, corrections, or comments, we can take it. Or if we don't have time, then we can end it here. You can personally approach me. So yes, maybe one question we can take, if it's okay, Prabhuji. One question. Yeah. Any questions? किसी का कोई प्रश्न है? Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, right here. Please state your name. Hari Narayan Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Especially the last national our national. So, you mentioned that if you practice that at the end we should remember.
Yes.
So, can you elaborate how we can do that?
Yeah. From Kaumaram Acharat Pragya, taking it from, but if we have joined at a later age, all right. What did Prabhupada said? How many rounds we must chant? Minimum? Wrong. Minimum 16 good rounds, Prabhupada said. So the problem lies in that word good. We don't chant minimum 16 good rounds. If we do that, follow the 4 regulative principles, where what Mahaprabhu's instructions are, associate with devotees, chant the holy names, go to the tirthas, go to the different holy places. Archa Vigraha, one should perform in your own home if you're a grihastha, a DT seva. And like that, if we follow this process throughout our life, at the end, we will definitely be able to remember Krishna. And for some reason, as I said in the beginning, if we are sick or something happens, even in coma, I'll tell you one very thing very quickly. There was one devotee in Toronto when we were there. He had 3 brain surgeries. Young boy, 30 years old, 2 little sweet daughters, and very enthusiastic. He used to come do kirtan. He always had a pair of kirtans in his pocket. And anytime kirtan came, he started playing kirtan very nicely. Now he was in the hospital, 3 surgeries. Finally, he lapsed into coma. Now, his wife one day called us at 2 a.m. in the morning. That Prabhuji, my Prabhuji is leaving. He's breathing very heavily. Can you come quickly? So we rushed to the hospital, and he was still breathing very heavily, taking heavy breaths. So, I took the Bhagavatam with me. I started reading Bhishmastava, and I started reciting Gopi Geet, and started reciting Mahamantra, and even some verses of Bhagavad Gita. And at that time, although he was in coma, we literally saw that tears were flowing from his eyes. So somebody in coma, so we can see that Krishna is acting within his heart because he was a good devotee. At that time, and although he was in coma, that subtle level, sukshma, consciousness was still there, and he was remembering Krishna, and then he passed away. He left his body. So his death was glorious. So that is why we say, some people say, I will do alone bhajan. I will chant 3 lakh names like Haridas Thakur. All that is bogus. We need to stay in the association of devotees. This is our real family. So when we are leaving our body, somebody or other, Krishna will send to chant the holy names, to put tulsi dal in our mouth, put Radha Kund water, apply Raj on our forehead. So then, although we are not able to completely, kind of like right now we are healthy, we can chant nicely, we are not able to chant at that time. Krishna will take care of us. What is that in that last line? In that bhajan, इतना तो करना स्वामी जब प्राण तन से निकले. कुछ आपकी फर्ज है, ये नेकसी अर्जी है, जब प्राण तन से निकले. So when I leave my body at that time, please, let me be in remembrance of you. And actually the song, whoever wrote it, we don't know who the author is. It is Bhishma Dev. At that time, it is the bhav of Bhishma Dev, that when I am leaving, so Krishna is there, surrounded by the Pandavas, etc. And then he's wonderful. He speaks Bhishmastav in first canto, 8th chapter. Right, Maharaj? Bhishmastav? 9th chapter. 8th chapter is Kunti Stava. Okay. 9th chapter. And then he leaves his body. So, if we are very serious, Krishna is in our heart. He knows. So, if there is some problem, Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham, that verse of Bhagavad Gita, that I will take care what you lack and I will preserve what you have. So, we have to have that full faith. But that doesn't mean that we take this Krishna consciousness callously. Oh, now I am initiated. So, now I am already Indra. No. What does initiation means? Beginning. Some have this attitude. Once they get initiated, the rest are Lallu Panju. Now I am twice initiated, Brahman. So then they are all puffed up. Chhati और बाहर निकलती है. No, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. We should not be like that. Very humble. Advanced devotees means most humble. And the more humble is more advanced. So then and then, Krishna will help us at the time of death. And like I said, even when we are sleeping, in our dreams, we see so much nonsense and we leave our body, then what will happen? Then if Krishna, at that time, if he thinks that no, we are not ready yet, then he will have to come back. But for those who have practiced Krishna consciousness seriously, sadhu sanga sarva shastra ka lava mata sadhu sanga. If we have really served the sadhu very seriously, even for one moment, with our heart and soul, then Krishna will take care of us at the time of death, even though we are not able to chant, we are not able to speak. So that much we must have full faith. Sharanga Sharanagata Hoivejar, our Prarthana, Snaya Vrajendra. Have I satisfied? Thank you very much. So we will end here. It is late. Prasadam time, book distribution time. Book distribution is important. Seva, but it should be distribution, not selling. That bhav should be there. Just a couple words about book distribution. When we approach somebody, first thing we should do is we think that you are my good friend. You need this. That bhavana. And the moment we feel like that, Paramatma is in our heart, is in the heart of the person we are approaching. That connection will come. Otherwise, that person is not even going to stop for 5 seconds. But he will wait. When we have that bhav within us, that I am your real friend, keep one small diary in your pocket. And if you manage to distribute that book, can I have your number, please? Maybe you will have some questions. I will try to get them answered if I cannot answer them. Or if you don't want to give your number, don't force anyone. Here is my number. You take it. Take a small page from a diary, put your number and put it in that Bhagavad Gita. And then that relationship, that person will feel, no, this person is very caring. He will start coming to the temple. And then he will become, part of our movement very nicely. But if we are pushy, then that averseness is created. People don't like that. One fanatic devotee I saw in Niagara Falls. Take this. Very good. It's about yoga. And then that person, she followed him. Finally, that person gave $10, took the Bhagavad Gita. 2 steps he took, and there was a big dustbin. He threw it in there. He was very upset. So we are not bhikaris. Like we are standing at the signal, Baba, 10 rupees de do na, 10 rupees de do na, and you will follow us. No, we are not that. We are their well-wishers. Surut Sarva Bhutana. We have the quality of Krishna. We should utilize that I am really your friend. And if he doesn't take it, it's okay. You spoke about Bhagavad Gita, you spoke about Krishna consciousness for 1 minute, 2 minutes. That is sufficient to plant that Bhakti Lata beach in their hearts. It is not some corporate event that we have to achieve some sales target. Yes, it's a transcendental competition, but it's transcendental, not material competition like the material world, that we have a certain target. इतना साबुन बेचना है, तो salesman आता है ना, कम से कम महीने में ये no. भावना रखिए. Keep that heart. No, you will really look, my life changed. You know, I was in the corporate world. I am IIT pass. I am engineer. I am a doctor. Some people of you all are so exalted in your material achievements. So you can, all these things. So just a few things that I thought I would share on book distribution. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam ki. Gaur Premanande. Gaur Premanande.